Namaskar, welcome to this special edition of This Week with Padma Shri Dr. Sabir Parikh. And in the frame, I have Dr. Parikh himself. Dr. Welcome, Namaskar.
Namaskar, namaskar.
And as we are all smiles, still the memories of grand celebration of India's Independence Day in New York are fresh with us. Before getting into other issues that are drawing our attention, let us stay with the celebration part. Dr. How was the feeling for you being at the Times Square to mark Swadhinta Divas of Bharat?
Well, it's a great feeling. I'm doing it as a part of the uh, 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 grand sponsor of the FIA for last 45 years plus, and by having this flag hosting in the open Times Square, it's a great achievement, and it's a best address of the world where one can have a flag hosting ceremony, and it's full of surrounded by beautiful buildings and beautiful ambience and a lot of people around in presence in the town Times Square, both Indians and non-Indians, and so it's a great feeling, and we are so happy and so excited about this flag hosting ceremony at Times Square.
Absolutely. And also, I take this opportunity to seek your insight on how you feel year after year you have been participating in India's Independence Day celebrations. You have seen several consul generals came, and of course, then they moved to another positions and other places. You have interacted with community and you have supported this event throughout. How different you felt this time in terms of lot of things have changed?
Well, this time is actually because of the COVID, we did not get the permission for the parade, but we got the permission to do the flag hosting at the Times Square. And I have seen several consul generals since early 80s, and I really felt so happy and so satisfied and rewarded being in the Times Square and unfurl the our Tiranga in the front of all the North American population. And really, it's a great, and this is a special day because it was 75th anniversary of our independence, and that shows that India survived 75 years with the great democracy in spite of or despite of challenges India faces, both economically and otherwise. This 75th or 75th birthday of independence celebration is a great achievement for all the Indians in India as well as outside India.
Absolutely. And also, I must say, someone like you and community leaders who are in sync with the spirit of India are inspiring for the new generation also. Continuing with India's Independence Day and looking at Prime Minister Narendra Modi's address from Red Fort, what you feel was most appealing part of his speech for you?
Well, I think Prime Minister has promised to take the India into next height. He declared a lot of good projects for the India, and the most important and most striking one is the infrastructure project. By having this infrastructure project, it will create a lot of jobs. It will bring the whole Indian structures and economy into different level, and really it gives India it's a modern look of the modern look and comparable to the Western countries. And therefore, I think to me personally, their infrastructure project was a great announcement by Prime Minister.
Absolutely. And looking at the way world is moving, especially in the context of what we have witnessed happened in Afghanistan, India was invested, America was invested, and let's look at Afghanistan from America's point of view for a little while, Dr. Saab, and 20 years, almost 2+ decades, and maybe investment of $3 trillion and loss of American soldiers, more than 2,500 plus. So, where we have arrived with Taliban capturing Afghanistan, what do you think America achieved in this process of trying to stabilize Afghanistan in the last 2 decades?
Well, I mean, as you know, that America's main goal is to is to defeat the terrorism, and and that's why America was there for last 20 years, and America did it, and got rid of all the terrorist group, particularly the Al Qaeda group, from the Afghanistan. And I mean, as we all know, that America's main job is not nation building, but its main job is to get rid of terrorism from the world. And I think that in that sense, America has achieved the goal, and it was time to move forward and get a country and give the country back to their own people.
So now, if I may indulge in analyzing the situation, when you say America was after terror organizations, the way the face of Taliban has emerged in the world, it appears now a complete nation is going to be ruled by an outfit which is synonymous with what we generally refer to as terror organizations. So it is a worse situation in one way. Do you feel it that way, or you see the role of Taliban different than ISIS and Al Qaeda?
I think I agree with you that in a one way it's kind of Taliban winning, and Afghan government, in spite of giving them so much of state-of-art equipment, so much of help, so much of the training, they themselves kind of did not fight Taliban, and Afghan military did not fight the Taliban, and that's unfortunate part, and that's why Taliban won, and it won very in no time. And that's bad news for the America. It's bad news for India, and also bad news for the whole world. But we have to now face the reality and see what we can do to pop up and give the freedom and the prosperity to the Afghani people.
So to be fair, at this point, current Taliban regime has assured that they will protect rights of women and everybody is safe, and that kind of assurance we have heard. But going back to, you rightly pointed out, they didn't mount any resistance, any fight, and it will be relevant to analyze and understand why there was no resistance. Why, in spite of having this state-of-the-art equipment from America, they were not willing to fight, though they were trained also. So there is something which probably from the Western mindset we are not able to connect the dots.
Well, I think because I mean, on point of our Western mindset, I think we kind of fail to read the cultural connections between the Afghanistan government, who is in the power, and Taliban, and therefore I think we calculated how fast this will fall. And but again, whatever is on the ground, it happened. Now we have to move forward and handle it in such a way that Afghanistan people can move forward, can do better, and with the help of the world community, and they themselves should resist any terrorist activities, as well as they should not let terrorism grow there or help. They should not help terrorist agencies and terrorist outfits. And if they do so, then I'm sure world will embrace them and will give the both economic and other helps to make them a nation which is acceptable to the world.
So the way you look at it has a lot of dreams and optimism and positive way of looking at the world, as well as hope that things will turn out to be differently. But based on what we are hearing, it might take a long time. And now coming back to the address of President Biden after this happened, many people world over were expecting probably he'll be little apologetic, because the kind of scenes which were flashing on social media as well as on news media outlet didn't speak very good about America's exit strategy and the kind of, if I say, mess which it left. One more line from President Biden looked like he was mentioning there was no right time to exit. So whichever way they pulled out is the right thing to do for America. Your take on the process of exit of USA?
I think probably exit was done hurriedly a little bit. It should have been taken a little longer time. Might have left some soldiers, small numbers, contingency plan, presence in the Afghanistan for a little longer time, and then probably it would have been a better transition than what we witnessed just now. But again, what President says that America's goal was, or America's obligation is not to build a nation. America's quote unquote, but America's goal is to defeat the terrorism whichever way they can, and that's what Biden administration believes in it, and that's why they did what they did.
Absolutely. And staying with President Biden's address, in one way he, if I say, blamed previous president for having negotiated with Taliban and arrived at this deal of pulling out. Second, he also blamed President of Afghanistan for not being able to check corruption, and indeed there was lack of willingness to fight Taliban. You agree with him, I think, on both these?
Yes, yeah, I think his read was correct and narration was correct, and because the Afghanistan government itself was not willing to fight, and they were completely kind of overwhelmed with the incidents of corruption in the government, and I think government was not very popular in common public, I guess, and that's why I think what happened.
Absolutely. And looking at the limited time that we have, I would also seek your input on the immediate positive response to this overthrowing of Afghan government by Taliban, supportive statements from Pakistan, supportive gesture from China as well as Turkey. Comment on that, and where do you see it puts India's role in that region, because India has also invested significantly in rebuilding of Afghanistan.
Well, it's unfortunate that Pakistan, Turkey, as well as China will encourage Taliban to keep them in their side and against the Western world and India. And here, probably the loser is not only USA or Western alliance, but is also loser. India is also a big loser, because India wanted to have Afghanistan. India has invested very heavily in Afghanistan and wanted Afghanistan to be more stable, more educated, for the safety of India's security and the safety. But so India has to work now very hard. Probably India will end up getting a lot of refugees from Afghanistan, and they will India will accommodate them and try to see how government acts and reacts with this whole story from India. But I think government of India has a lot of challenges on their hand, and I'm sure and we wish that they will prevail and they become successful.
And concluding question, Dr. Saab, just hypothetically looking at the scenario, do you think the rise of Taliban would encourage more fundamentalists to take up arms and sort of start back the kind of activities, violent spur of small attacks here and there more, or you don't see it related to Taliban in any way?
No, I think let's hope that it does not happen. Let's hope that no more violence or no more terrorism should happen. And Taliban government, whoever comes in the power or in administration, should only focus welfare of the people of Afghanistan rather than supporting terrorism and terrorist activities to hurt India or other neighboring countries.
Very well said, Dr. Saab, and your concluding remarks from today's This Week with Padma Shri Dr. Sudhir Parikh.
Dear friends, I would like to wish everyone, all Indians, those who are in India, as well as all Indians, those who are outside India, a very, very happy 75th Independence Day. We should be proud of ourselves, we should be proud of our nation, and we should be proud of our motherland. And let's take a pledge that we should tell our motherland that mother, what we can do for you, and to make it more a golden country. And that's my pledge on the Independence Day, and I'm sure all my Indian American friends agree with that. On that note, thank you for joining. God bless America, God bless India, and God bless Indian American community throughout the world.